and welcome to Round Robin. I'm your host, Robin McCormick with the City of Hampton. And today we have back our Healthy Families consultant, Alvean Lyons, and she's going to give us some tips for how to have a better Halloween. Welcome back.
Thanks, Robin.
You know, Halloween is one of these holidays that has grown to be like number 2 to Christmas in terms of spending and commercialization and candy, and you know, there's just so much going on.
It's true, and people love it.
Yes.
I mean, like really love it, because it's the one opportunity that you get to completely tap into your childhood. You get to be new characters and new people, and and the dress up is so much fun.
I mean, we like it still, right?
Absolutely, and it's an excuse to eat candy. I mean, who doesn't love that? You know, so lots of people love it. The only thing that we deal with now is making that a safe experience. Because unfortunately, we do have the other element of our society. It's a small element, but it gets a lot of attention, who has not used those opportunities that are really about children in good ways. They've turned those into some very dangerous things sometimes. So it really creates a challenge for parents to find a way to take something that could be so much fun and could be really positive and keep it that way and protect your kids and all these kids that you love throughout the neighborhood.
Well, safety, and also to make it not terribly unhealthy. You know, it doesn't have to be, I run from house to house to get as much candy as I possibly can. You know, there's other things you can focus on that are the holiday besides amassing quantities of sugar and chocolate.
And being able to experience and appreciate the fact that there are so many social parts of that that are a lot of fun, getting together with lots of people. Because I have a child with special medical needs that are dietary, Halloween for us had to be something different. We had to be very creative.
You could not have just tons and tons of sugar.
He's a juvenile diabetic, so that would just be a nightmare in our house to do that. So we turned it into something that became incredibly social and became a tradition for our family. So it gives you the chance to be able to look forward to it in ways that didn't for him seem like I'm different than everybody else.
Right.
We redefined it
and that works
in
for
great
everybody
ways.
Else too. It
Oh,
doesn't
totally
have to
agreed.
be, you know, crazy.
And all the mommies who participated in it like knowing that this is what we're going to do, this is how we're going to do it, and our kids are all thought of in the process. So it worked great for us. So we have a couple of great tips that parents can use this upcoming Halloween, because it's just around the corner.
It is very soon, right?
Just around the corner, and it's just a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay? So one is pick one location. Get together with some folks, think about what would work really well for us if we pick just one house in the neighborhood.
And folks could be your neighborhood, your PTA,
your church, your whatever organization, you know, get together with your people and decide one central location that would work very well for all of you. So you definitely want to make sure that all the voices are involved, because of course if people have certain transportation limitations, you know, there are times of the day that don't work, those kinds of things, you want to make sure everybody's had the conversation, everybody who's going to be participating in it. And you want to accommodate as many families as you possibly can. But picking one location, so that's our one, is wonderful, so people know what to expect, where to go, and what's going to happen when we get there.
Okay.
Then our 2, want to make sure that you have 2 times during the day, because some of us have very small children. So doing things at 7 o'clock at night when you're going to put the baby down at 7 o'clock at night isn't going to work. So it might be
and it's often a school night.
And that's absolutely true. It almost never falls on a Friday. It's almost rarely a Saturday. You know, so it's true that you're often dealing with a school night. So figuring out how that's going to fit into the various activities your kids may be involved in, to the schedules that your families have, what's going on with smaller children versus bigger children. There's so many factors involved. Being able to pick 2 times that you can do it is really helpful. So we sometimes, when our kids were little, we did something during the day so that our little people didn't have to be all cranky in between nap times and all kinds of other things. And we got together and we did something cute that was fun for them and took all the pictures and shared it with the family kind of thing. And then we had an evening something. So we would pick 2 different times. Now that doesn't mean you have to do a middle of the day. It just may be an earlier evening for younger children and perhaps a little bit later for some of the older children. So 2 times worked wonderful in our community. Then 3 being, there were 3 moms who would always get together and talk about it. We tried to make sure that no one person was stuck with all of the work.
But you don't want so many people that you can't agree.
That's exactly right. If you have
I've been there
too many cooks in the kitchen, nothing gets cooked. So we picked 3 moms that would take responsibility. One might be responsible for activities, one might be responsible for the materials, one might be responsible for the themes. We divvied it up so we all had busy schedules. No one of us was responsible for the whole thing, because then you stop looking forward to it.
Right. It's
you
too
know,
much
it's
work.
just pressure.
Yeah.
So making sure that you balance that weight out is very helpful, and the fact that each mom is going to think about it from a different perspective. Hey, let's not forget this, let's remember this. Oh, what if we invite these people? It makes it really helpful to divvy out that load a little bit. Then 4, we would pick 4 different character themes on purpose. So it might be sports was one of them. It might be Disney characters, that could be another one. It could be your Marvel characters. So you've got your Marvel comics, superheroes, right. Absolutely. You've got actors and actresses that you want to emulate. We made sure that we would pick 4 things, and we would try to, for us, and everybody can do it differently, but for us, it made it easy. So all of the guys were working on the same thing. So everybody's trying to outdo each other with the Marvel characters, you know, and all the girls are working on the same theme. So you got to see all the creativity that fell under those various themes. And in doing so, we typically would have 2 for the boys and 2 for the girls. And sometimes we do competitions, so, you know, is Wonder Woman better than Batman? You know, like just all kinds of neat little things. But giving those 4 created different options, and we would vote on what those things were going to be. So picking 4 themes so parents know how to go pick what they're going to create for their kids was very helpful. And then our final thing was 5. We made sure that we had 5 activities that were appropriate for each of our age groups. So for our younger ones, if it was just like finger painting and you were making all these little candy, you know, sculptures and this, that, and the other, that those things were great for us. But if for our older ones, they wanted to do different kinds of things. So we would create things that were appropriate for them. So we would pick 5 activities. Sometimes we would divvy them up. Sometimes we would have 5 at each of them. It depended which mom was responsible for the activity planning.
You could decorate cookies.
Absolutely.
You could do, all kinds of cool
How
things.
many things
you could have
that
a
you actually
superhero
did.
contest, lifting things, you know what I mean?
Totally.
Yeah.
And like blindfold competitions, and how many of these jelly beans can you get into the container without being able to see, whether you can throw the jelly bean from one part of the room to the other part of the room and get it in. I mean, all kinds of neat things that you can do that really have nothing to do with just candy ingestion. So it made a huge difference for us to just do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And it was our checklist. We knew exactly what we were going to do. We knew how to divvy it out, and it made it easy for everybody to know what to expect.
You know, we did not do that in my household, but there was one time when a neighbor had a party. It was a neighborhood party, and it was adults and kids, and, you know, it was the garage and the yard, and we were all spread out, and I enjoyed it more. I think my kids enjoyed it more. I think the trick-or-treat thing is a little bit, it's hard to pull off now. For one thing, people aren't home at sundown at 5:30 or 6, and so you're going to every 5th house, and you know there are people who don't appreciate the tradition or can't, or older people, at least in our neighborhood, that don't feel comfortable opening their doors, and so it's not the lights are on every single house anymore. It's hit or miss, and I think kids like the interaction. They want other people to see their costume. They want to act as that superhero, and or whatever, princess or
whatever the
tough
character
football
is,
player.
right?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Marine animal, you know, and instead they're just running from house to house, and then the costume comes off because it isn't really about that. So this sounds like a great idea. I'm very excited about it.
It makes it really simple, and it's true. It considers all of those factors. I mean, because there are so many factors at play, and when you have children of multiple age, most of us don't have just one child.
Right.
So now you've got to figure out how to create something that works for both your older kids and your younger kids. If dad's not home or mom's working late, and we've got to switch out who's going to be doing the Halloween walk, that can be complicated also. So, and then, you know, Johnny has sports and Keisha has this and dance, and you're trying to figure out how to fit all kinds of things into one evening, and one evening the kids spend a lot of the year looking forward to. So you want it to go off well.
And it takes care of your teens and your preteens, because, you know, there's a cutoff. There's a hard cutoff. You're not supposed to trick or treat after 12.
Yep.
And nobody wants to stop dressing up. Nobody wants to stop being part of that process. So if you have a little brother or sister, you can get away with it. But realize, they want to keep celebrating. And so it builds a tradition that can grow with your kids.
It's true. And one that your kids can take with them. You can do that when you get to the dorms. Picking one dorm hall that everybody's getting together. You guys get together as a team and figure out who's going to be doing what, because my kids are in college now, but they still like the activities. So finding new ways to be able to do old things, fresh, new, sweet traditions, old things is a fantastic way to continue to create and commit to the community part of it all. Half of Halloween is the community and social experience. The candy's great. But the people are even better.
But you have to take some of the candy away. No child can eat that much candy, and no mom should eat that much. You know what I mean? It's like a hard thing to balance, because once it belongs to the kid and it's in that bag, they want it.
Oh, absolutely. And it's amazing how quickly they can do inventory.
Yes,
they know
where did my crackle go? I had a crackle bar in here, Did you eat
very
it?
True.
Well, yeah, maybe.
Well, maybe. It was a service charge for putting it away. Right, exactly. Oh, it's very true. And it takes work as a parent to be able to balance all of those factors.
We used to pull that bag down from the top of the kit. You could have one piece now, and then we put it
the
back
rest
up.
one back.
And by
Absolutely.
Easter, you've gotten rid of it. It just goes on and on.
It's true. Finding ways to do good things for your kids is a challenge that every parent faces on a regular basis. And it doesn't matter whether we're talking about Halloween or we're talking about figuring out how to be there for our kids when it comes to their sports or when it comes to school. I mean, the reality is we're always trying to figure out how to navigate it. We just had open houses. When you had more than one kid of various age, where are you? What classrooms do you go to? Navigating those spaces is a challenge.
The high school ones are real challenge, isn't it? You're like, run it. I'm like, how do these kids do this?
Do it each day, quite literally.
Up, down,
and be on time
way.
everywhere that you're going, and know what books that you need to have, all of those things. The same thing we experience when we're having trick-or-treating going on. So finding ways to organize what we're doing, creating structure, and then simultaneously making sure that in all of it, the good messages aren't lost.
Well, and Healthy Families has classes that can help us with that.
Perfect segue. I was just going to say that we have fantastic nurturing classes from 2 to 12 that really help for building those connections and being able to communicate about the things that make a difference and really creating community inside your family. And then by extension, what happens inside of your neighborhoods and your local communities by and large. Then you have things like for our little kids that I was talking about being mindful of even on Halloween, 1, 2, 3 magic, that's magical, literally. The things that you learn in simple foundational principles, how to create structure for your kids is utterly fantastic. So I'm a huge advocate for sign up. When we're talking about the communities you can get together and create these with, you could do it with your Healthy Families friends.
That's right.
You will be meeting other people with like-minded agendas that are also committed to finding great ways to raise kids and raise them inside of a community. You can create something that's a Healthy Families Halloween even. It could be fantastic. But the fact is that there's so many opportunities out there that we have to make use of and find new ways to do old things even better.
Yeah, that's wonderful. Okay, we're going to recap now. We're talking with Alvean Lyons of Healthy Families, and we're going to look at some ways to de-stress and amplify Halloween in terms of being an experience for our kids that relates them to their friends and their community.
Absolutely.
And you've got 5 tips.
Absolutely. So we'll say this. 1, choose one location. It makes it so much easier when everybody knows where to go to do what we're going to do. 2, make sure that you choose 2 times during the day, because parents who have smaller children have to be mindful of those things. Parents who have older children may be interested in doing different kinds of things. So 2 times during the day is great. 3, choose 3 people who are going to be responsible for how you're going to put this together. No one wants to walk in to Halloween feeling stressed. It's supposed to be sweet and fun. So have 3 different people that are part of putting together this experience. 4, choose 4 character themes. Parents knowing what to go out and buy for their kids, what to dress them up in, what we're going to do, the competitions we may create. Having 4 different themes that are mindful of age and gender are really helpful for everybody to feel included. And then 5, choose 5 great activities that are developmentally appropriate for all of your moms and your kids to participate in. It makes the Halloween experience so much sweeter. And when we do it together, we create community and nurture the best things about who we are together.
That sounds wonderful. Thank you so much for coming by, Alvean. I'm looking forward to Halloween.
Me too. Let's make it sweet.
All right. And thank you for watching. I hope you're looking forward to Halloween and this gave you some great ideas.